So around 5:30 in the morning, Zimmerman, with Jerry Talley, enters the reception area of the emergency room at DeSoto Baptist in Southaven. And Talley is wearing shorts and t-shirt which are covered in blood. He's also got a black and yellow/gold sheet wrapped around him, with a towel wrapped around his neck. And I mean, Talley was quite a sight. I mean, he lost a lot of blood. He was, I mean, from his left-hand side, and those that are watching on TVMO, you're actually now watching the footage of Zimmerman and Talley at the hospital. And then, once inside the reception area, Talley literally slumps over the counter of the reception, and Zimmerman happens to spot a hotel worker behind the reception off camera, and he shouts up to them and points to the right-hand side of his neck, which obviously is telling them, you know, this guy's been shot on the right side of his neck. Well, as law enforcement are pulling into the road, they are completely oblivious to the fact that Zimmerman is actually outside Jerry Talley's house packing another vehicle. Now, the Dodge Ram truck wasn't anywhere to be seen, and purely by chance, Zimmerman spotted the officers coming down the road, and this is what he would tell Southaven police detectives when he was later arrested on September the 29th.
And when I put my last bags in that dude rental, that was in my car, that was the rental. And I was putting last two, I seen two cop cars parked like this in the middle of that street with their lights off across at the neighbor's shit, looking at his white pickup truck. Cause y'all was looking for a Dodge shit. And they looking, and I was like, oh shit. I turned all the lights was already off. I went back in and locked all the doors. For like an hour, them cops was knocking on the door, and it's getting renovated. There's no curtains, so they were looking through all the shit. A couple of the doors was open, but obviously they can't just walk in and shit. And so at that time, we were just playing like motherfucking duck, goose type shit. They go to this window, I creep over here. And then they keep doing it and doing it. One time he was like on my body, and I just stood still a little bit. And he was like, no, I don't think nobody home.
You know, so the crime scene officers, whilst they're in the house, inside the bedroom where Jerry Talley was shot by Zimmerman, the crime scene was not very big, so to speak. You know, the room was just big enough to hold two end tables and a bed at the far side, and then there was enough area to walk around the bed and the end tables, you know, as you walk through the door of the bedroom. And there was blood everywhere. I mean, there was blood all over one side of the room. There was a comforter down the side of the bed that was covered in blood. There was no sheet on the bed, so this was evidently what Jerry Talley was wearing when he was in the hospital. And Jerry Talley's dentures are in pieces on the ground where he'd obviously spat them out or they'd fallen out or whatever. There was a shell casing at the edge of the foot of the bed, so at the far end away from the heads, and happened to spot Zimmerman stood by a white car. And they watched him for a few minutes. And just as they were about to go and get him, Zimmerman happened to cut out the apartment complex across a piece of grass and get out onto the main road. He was unaware at this point that law enforcement were onto him. And as he comes out onto the main road through this little cut through from the apartment complex, a police officer at the other side of the road happens to see him, and he basically shouts for him to stop. And this is what happens next.
Get on the ground! Get on the ground! Turn over! I got you. Cuffs.
There's a quite funny exchange, and this is how we close out this episode, because this is where the episode actually gets its name from. Because Zimmerman is trying to be cocky and arrogant to the detective from Southaven, and basically trying to say that, you know, he's so elusive, no one's ever got him, and now he's in this podunk town, and you know, and this is the officer's retort.
Hey, yo, he sound country, right? I'm in a country ass town.
This country ass town, we got you though.
Yo.
You make fun of us all you want, but we got you. Nobody else did.
Yo,